Welcome back to Cape Media News. I'm Emily Tullock. Mr. Jung-Ho Pak, Artistic Director and Conductor for the Cape Symphony, has joined us today to tell us about the virtual event the Cape Symphony is launching this December. Mr. Pak, thank you so much for joining us today.
It is my pleasure. Thanks, Emily.
So starting on Sunday, December 20th at 7 p.m., the Cape Symphony All-Star Holiday Variety Show will launch. So can you tell us what the show has to offer and sort of who's involved?
Lots. You know, that funny title, it's really long, but it kind of reminds me of when I was growing up as a kid and you see these television specials. You're a little young to know of this, but these variety hours used to be on, and everyone had a variety hour. And so I wanted to capture some of that nostalgia for a lot of people too. There's that cup of hot cocoa that you can cuddle up with next to the fire and just sit down for an old-fashioned variety show. And indeed, it is a variety show because we've got artists from all different genres. And they have one thing in common. They've either performed with the Cape Symphony over many years, or that they're members of the Cape Symphony, and they're extremely talented as well. And we've got some, you know, unforgettable acts, people who really brought the house down, people like Siren Mayhew from Martha's Vineyard, and the Annie Moses Band that played with us about a decade ago, and audiences just went nuts for them. Lots of other guest artists, local favorites as well, people like Monica Rizzio, who does holiday songs every year. She writes new Christmas tunes, and we'll be premiering them for her there. But also our principal players, people like Zach Sheets, our principal flutist, and Rob, who is our principal trombone, will be performing variations on God Bless Ye Merry Gentlemen in many different ways, including a disco version too. So it's going to be a lot of fun, hopefully put a lot of smile on people's faces, but also to warm the hearts and remind people that the Cape Symphony is alive and well. We are waiting for the day that we return, and we're waiting for, of course, not only safe return, but also for when our audiences feel comfortable to return. We're still doing some things, including some concerts. We were supposed to do a streamed program last weekend, but that was canceled due to COVID. But we're offering some classes as well. You can go to capesymphony.org and sign up for some instruction, private lessons as well. But for the most part, we're going to come back stronger than ever.
Now, why put on a virtual show right now? What does this mean to the community, and what does this mean to the musicians and all of the artists involved in this holiday show?
I think it really lifts the spirits of both the musicians of the Cape Symphony. Now, we can't gather to perform this weekend, but what we can do is show some of our highlights from past years. And it reminds them and reminds our audiences how splendid and how fun these concerts were. Our shows, Holiday Pops in particular, were hugely popular. We would do 6 every December, and the hall is huge too. It's 1,400 people. So we would service almost 6,000 people during the holiday season. And I think people came only for that show occasionally. I mean, they would come to see us year round, but for them, the Holiday Pops was not to be missed. And we just couldn't let the month go by without giving a little bit of that flavor, some of that remembrance. And I think people are going to just feel really in the spirit. That's what they say, is that when they come to see the Cape Symphony in the beginning of December, that's when their holidays begin. So we want to give that to our audience.
Now, with the vaccine, you know, sort of starting to be distributed and maybe a sort of a light at the end of the tunnel, what do you think the future holds for the Cape Symphony and artists all around the country as maybe we can start to return back to the way that we used to do art before the pandemic?
Yes, it is the light at the end of the tunnel. And we will come back, and we are planning either perhaps maybe this summer, if things pick up quickly and people, I mean, you know, our community and our nation surprises us sometimes how quickly they can get into the mood of and support something. So we have a very full summer program, including a new series called Symphony at the Cinema. And we have the plan to just launch that series next summer. And if it isn't next summer, then it'll be the following summer. And if summer isn't possible, then the fall. I'm just so committed. That's where I'm putting all my chips. we are retooling and rethinking our mission and purpose. We are rededicating ourselves to be more for the community, to serve the entire Cape and islands from every inch, and every single person, regardless of their age, their economic background, their ethnicity, their religion. Every single person deserves beauty and hope and joy, because that's our mission, to inspire joy.
Well, Mr. Pak, thank you so much for joining us today. And if anybody would like to tune into the Cape Symphony All-Star Holiday Variety Show, that will be launching on the Cape Symphony's YouTube page starting December 20th at 7 p.m. and it will continue until January 18th. So that's where you guys can find out more information. And thank you so much. Have a happy and safe holidays to you.
To you as well. Thank you so much, Emily.
Thank you. For Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tullock.